Hi, and welcome back to Frantonio Tutorials PC Learning for Beginners. Today we are going to in today's video we are going to do the continuing of the full website project, Jonto for Photography, and this is now part 4. And we are going to setting up the service page. In the previous video, in part 3, we did set up the home page or the index page. So anyway, let me show you what we're going to do today. So this is where we left off on the setting up the pages last time. We are now in the service HTML or the service page, yeah, and that is why it's going to look when we finish today's video. So we have 3 accordions in here, yeah, one for photography, one for fashions and models, and one for posters and portraits. So I'm going to show you how to make the card bodies, the accordions, yeah, and setting in these icons here with a CSS animation, yeah, and we're going to enter then the text, and next to the text we're going to enter a image. And this time, as you can see really close down here and on the sides, we're going to use a different kind of effect for the images, so that they stand out a little bit more. So anyway, let me open the page here. This one is going to say like that, and let me open my Visual Studio code. And this here is the service HTML as is demonstrated here in on the web browser. So now we are on the start of the navigation bar, and then under the end of the navigation bar, yeah, we are first of all, we're going to put a little bit space in between the navigation bar and the body here. So we're going to put 4 break lines. So just press less than sign, BR, greater than sign, then copy and paste. 2, and we got them 4. Now let me save, and you see now on the top here we have a little bit of space between the footer here and the navigation bar. So next things are, let us start then the service side. So let's put in a remark for us, which is going to be start of services. And we're going to put also let me copy this one here, copy and paste, and there we're going to put the end of the services. End of services. In between the start of services, let us start the accordion. So let's give it a remark so that we know where we are going to start. So there would be start of accordion, start of accordion. We copy this one down again, and we're going to put the end of the accordion. In between. So actually let us do it like that. Let's start here with the accordion. Let's start a diff, with a ID of accordion. And let's close this diff here. Oops, let me move this one up here again, because that's supposed to be here. And the end of the accordion we are going to put on the end of this diff here. So that is why it's going to be inside the accordion. So then we start off with an H1. In the H1 we're going to write services. Below the H1 we are going to put an HR, horizontal ruler, and below that we are going to start with the card. So let's open another diff. Let's do a diff with a class called card. And here we're going to put in another reminder where the cards are. We're going to need this one because we are going to do a copy and paste afterwards, and then just change a couple of things, since all the cards in the accordion are going to be the same. So let's put in here another reminder, and this would be the start of the card. Start of card. And here we are going to copy this part here, so we can save us some typing, paste it, and just put end of card. End of card. Let me see if I can get in the back there. If it stays, it's okay. If not, okay. Now, so inside the card we need a card header and also an ID, a class of card header, and an ID of heading 1. That would be practice this part here, the first one. Yeah. So let me go back in here and let's start going on then. So inside here we are going to do a class of a diff. I'm going to start a diff with a class of card header. Diff of class header, and after the class header we're going to need an ID of heading 1. So then we can close this diff here. So this one is going to be the start of the card header. I always like to put remarks in here so that I don't I know exactly where I am in case if I have some errors. So there's the start of card header, and believe me guys, if you use this method, if you're going to have any problems, in your styling or whatsoever, and especially if you have a big document, it's going to be much more easier to find out where your error is. So let me paste this one down here now. Oops. And this was going to be end of card header. It's going to be the end of the card header. And inside here, inside this div here, we are going to put an H6, which is going to be this part here. Yeah. So let's start off in H6. Let's close this one. And we're going to give this a class. The H6, we're going to give it a class of MB0, which means margin bottom 0. MB0. Inside the H6 now, we are going to put in a button. Let's do button. A button. And this button we're going to give him a class of BTN, which stands for button, and button link, BTN link. Button link. After that, we have to give it a type, so that we know that this is a type of button. Type, and the type is button. And after that, we need a daddle toggle, which will tell us when we press on it if he has to collapse or uncollapse it. So there is a data toggle, and the data toggle is going to be, of course, collapse. Then we need a data target, and the data target is going to be an ID of collapse 1. We give it an ID instead of a class. I'll show you afterwards where the ID is going to get called. So anyway, collapse 1, collapse 1, 1. And we still haven't finished. So now we have to give them we have to tell them that when we open that page, when we go on the service page, yeah, we want all the accordions be closed, not open. To do that, we give them a rule, which is going to be area expand. Area expand, and we're going to set it to false. And then the area control we have to give them also. This is an area control. And we give this one here is where we call it this ID of collapse 1. Yeah, collapse 1. So, and after that, and inside still this one, inside the button still, now we defined everything, we are going to give it this the icon here, which is the camera. As you can see here, in the first card we put up there. So let me go back here. So we could put in an I class. It's an I. It's an I. It's an I with a class of, and this is going to be the camera. So there is FS, FAS, FA camera, camera. So then we close the eye and we have closed the button. So that is the first part. Now let me save this one, see what happens. And here you see we got already the first icon. The icon actually now is already enlarged, because in the CSS previously, as you remember, we also enlarged all the other icons we had on there. So that's the reason. So it picked up already. So there's coding less we have to do in the main CSS, because that's been defined. The only thing we have to define afterwards is just, you know, the colors and the hovering and whatsoever. So that'll be our first. That's be the first button, and next to the button here, where are we here? Button. Under the button here, we're going to enter the name photography. Photography. Let me do a save, and you see now here we got photography. I could have put this one also in the button, which means then after that, also when I hover over the photography, there also will be like a link. But I only want the icon to be an actually link. And so, and that would be then this part there. That would be the end of the header. So now that we set up the accordion button, now let's set up the accordion or the card body. Okay, so let's start with a div. Let me start here with a div. In which we have the ID, an ID of, we need to have the collapse one here, which we defined up here also, yeah, which wasn't defined yet. We just calling it, and we calling it here also. Now here we defined it that this is an ID, and you can see it here because it's got a hash in front of it. That means it's an ID. So anyway, in this ID, let's do collapse one. Collapse one, and make sure that you spell it right, because otherwise it's not going to work, and it's going to show you an error. After we set up the ID, we need a class more or less like up here, yeah, more or less like up here, and that is also going to be a class of collapse. Going to be class of collapse, and after that we need to assign it a label, and the label is we assigned it the area of the label, and labeled by, which is going to be this ID here, the ID heading 1. Okay, so let's get area, area label, and it comes up here, label the by, and inside here we're going to put the heading 1. So you could copy from here and paste it in here, makes it faster, and they got no spelling, no wrong spellings. After that, we need to give them a we have to tell them, since the card body or the card the card body actually is going to be it's going to be a child of the actually accordion, so we have to let them know which the parent is. In this case, that would be a data target, not data target, data parent, and inside the data parent we calling up the ID of the accordion. So accordion. Okay, so and now I can close this diff here. In between this diff here now, we are going to create the two sections for the text and for the image. So first of all, what are we done? So first of all, let's call this one. Let's give it a definition. So this one is going to be collapse 1, because we have 3 collapses: collapse 1, collapse 2, collapse 3. Since we have 3 different cards in there. So let me do like this. Oops. And that would be start of first column. Start of collapse 1. Start of collapse 1. Okay. So in here now we're going to give it. We're going to call the card body out, which we do in a diff with a class of card body, and we can close this diff now. Inside the card body we need a container fluid, so that when we depending on the size of the device you're using, it's going to be adjusting itself, the text and the images and so on. So let's start and let's give it a class, a diff with a class of container fluid, and inside the container fluid we are going to need another diff, and this time it's going to be a diff with a class of row, close diff, and inside the row now we're going to set up the columns. The first columns, I'm going to split these columns in 2 parts. So usually, here I have 12 columns per row. The first row we're going to make it a little bit smaller as the second. You cannot put anyway 2 times 6 because it will not work. Because you need to have a little bit of padding and spacing and padding margins around it. So if you use the complete col 6 twice, then you won't be able to do any margins and stuff like that. So okay, the first column then is going to be a a diff of a diff with a class of oops, I forgot something here. A diff with a class of call MD, call MD5, and let me close this diff, and inside here, inside the call MD5, we're going to start first. This will be the start, start of first column. Okay. Next. So since I want to center, I mean, I want to work with this text a little bit, you know. I'm going to give this. I'm going to give it a. I'm going to put it in a class, in a diff, which means would be a diff of with a class of I call it L side, because since it's going to be the left side, L side, which we're going to style afterwards inside the CSS. And in here we're going to put in an H3, an H3, not an HR, an H3. And inside the H3 we're going to put professional photography. And after the H3 we are going to put in a couple of paragraphs. Let me just, instead of typing me all the paragraphs here, let me just copy them and paste them in. Okay, let me try this again. Didn't work out the first time. Let me go under here, the H3, and paste this in. So practically what I did is, I pasted first a little bit of, general text in here, and then after that I just used a Lorem Ipsum. I told you, to use a Lorem Ipsum, just to put your paragraph, then type in, if you are in Visual Studio, now that means, then type in Lorem and an asterisk and a 1, and it will give you one paragraph of text, like here. So let me save this one, and let's see what we have so far. Okay. And as you can see here now, we got our accordion, we got our text, and it closes, and it collapses, and it collapses, and it uncollapses. So, and that was, so here that was the row, that was the first row, but we're still inside the row, so we have to do, now we do here, so that is start of first column. That means this one here is end of first column, so we know which column is which. End of first column. And under here we are going to do the second column where we're going to put in the image. So also here we'll start again with a div, and we give them a class of this time, instead of a 5, we're going to give them a larger one, because I want it to be the picture to be a little larger than the text. So let's put it in here. We're going to use a call MD for medium screens now, and we're going to give it a 6. We can close this div here. Whoops. Typo, call MD6. So hold on, let me do this again. No, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that is fine, because now we are inside this div here. No? Yeah, correct. Okay, I made a little mistake there, but anyway. So after that, we're going to give we're going to put the boxes in there again, which we want around the image, yeah, and we want to give it also an effect. I'm going to use a different effect this time. Instead of in the previous images, we're going to put a different in here. So let's start putting that baby in. Let's open a div with a class of this time it's going to be box1, and if you remember, we did already box1 in the previous video, and this time we're going to give him an effect. I believe I called this one, that was effect number 8. Yes, effect number 8, and let me close here. And inside this div here now, we're just going to insert the image. So let's open the image, IMG, and we give it an SRC, and the first image, photography. I think the first image I used there, that was in the assets. Oops, assets. Inside the assets, where we're in the image. Inside the image, Japan, and I think I got the last image here. And after that, we have to always give this old alternative, yeah, text. You can put something in there if you want to. I'm not going to put anything in there, and that would be it for the that would be the end for this row. Then let me see here now. So let me save this one, and let's see what we have. And there you go. You see, now we got the text here, we got our image here, and we got our first accordion. So the first end of accordion there, and then we have to go, where did I start the end of the row? I put a row in there. Yeah, I didn't put in here. So now here is the start of the row, because that's very important when we do the copy and paste afterwards. Oops, I don't want this div here now. Start of row, start of row, and the start of row that will be this differ, and here we're going to put end of row. End of row. Okay. And then here this is going to be the and here is the end of the container fluid. End of container fluid, also important always to know. And end of container fluid, and here we're going to copy, put this one and put this one up here. That's going to be the start of the container. So then this one here is the end of the card body. End of card body. And let me copy this one up here, put it up here, and put this one start of card body. Just in case if we're going to have later on some problems. So, and then we have, this is the that was the start of the collapse 1, and that's going to be the end of collapse 1. End of collapse 1. No, this one, yeah, collapse 1, and this one here. That is the end of the card actually. So let me do it like this. Let me copy this one down here. Okay, and here we got then the end of the accordion. And I got something missing here. Where is the ID for accordion? That needs to be here. Yeah, I missed one. I missed one diff here. See already, and that was end of the accordion. Good. So now that we finished the first accordion, or the first card in the accordion, the next part is pretty quite simple. Just copy and paste, and we need to do a couple of changes, but not much. What we have to do now, you see now I'm on the end of the accordion. So if I click on this diff here, which is the end of the card, and you go all the way up to where it says card, yeah, copy this all the way down to end of the card again, make a copy, go below the end of the card and make a paste. So, and what we change here now is the following. First of all, there is the card start header, start of collapse 1. We put this one of start of collapse. Was that no? This was the first one. End of header, end of row. Let me see, did I posted it? Yeah. So let me go up here to where it says here end of card, yeah, and here it says start of card. So that is our second. Accordion in here. Okay. And now the things we have to change in here is we have to change the ID. Instead of heading 1, we have to put an ID of heading 2. Then we instead of collapse 1 here, we have to put in collapse 2. And also here collapse 2. And instead of the FA camera, yeah, we are going to put in the next one, which was the FA female. So let's put FA female. We change from photography, we change to fashion and models. Fashion and models. The next change we have to do is then down here again the ID from the card header. We change that one to 2. That one here is accordion, that's okay. Container fluid, row call MD5. That is the same. And here we change the image from, that was image, that was then fashion, and we're going to use fashion number 14. I had in my one I had the number 14 inside. Now let me save this one again. Let's make a save, and you see now it's saved. Now let's see how it works. Photography, okay. Let's open fashion, and fashion also is okay. Okay, so now that we've done that, we have to paste this one in again, so we can start again from the here, from copy this part here to the div class of the card. Make a copy, and by the end of the card here, let's put in a paste. So, and here we're going to change, we're going to do the same things. We're going to change from 2 to 3, collapse 2 to collapse 3, collapse 2 to collapse 3 again, and we're going to change from female to female. Then we had portrait, FA portrait, yeah, FA portrait. The next thing we have to change again is here the collapse 2 to collapse 3. Here we have to put heading. Here we have to put heading 3. Heading 3. And what else we have to change here? And I believe here we have to change the image to poster. So let's delete up to here. Image, go on the posters, and here also I have number 14. Let's make a save. And here you go. So fashion, see, open now fashion 3, opens fashion 2, open photography, open fashion 3 again, and close everything. So, and I believe this is all what we have to do in the HTML side of it. Let's just really make sure that we got everything properly done. Heading 3, heading 3. Here we got example in heading 1 which is wrong, which should be in heading 2. Collapse 2, heading 2, heading 1 we did already. So, okay, we can save this baby now. And the next thing is we are going to go to set up the CSS. And let me see where we were left the last time. We did box, I believe we did box and box 1. Yeah, we did box 1 already. In fact we did, because otherwise we wouldn't have that box around there. So the next thing we have to do here, after we did box 1, we have to do the card body, I believe. So the first thing we have to do here now would be to adjust the accordion. So the accordion was an ID of accordion. Open brackets. Inside here we're going to give it a width. 80%. And a margin left of 10. Margin left of 10%. So that means that the accordion then is in middle of the page. Let me make a save, and here you see, change to the middle of the page now. Yeah. So after we did the accordion, we need to do the buttons, I believe, or do I have to make those ones already? Yeah. So next things, after the accordion, we have to do the button. Oops, BNT, button. And we're going to give the button the color, a color of shadow blue. So the variable, open parentheses, shadow blue. Not BNT, but BTN. I just noticed that one, because otherwise we would have had no error. And now we're going to do the hover part. Control S. See, now it changed already the colors of the button. And now we're going to do the BTN hover. So when we hover over, open and close brackets. Inside the brackets we are going to put, so when we hover over the button, we want to have a color of that light of the platinum. Open parentheses. Oops. Color. Oops, forgot to put a Y in there. One. Open parentheses. And I made it again an error. And we're going to put it in platinum. After that, we're going to change the font size, because we want to get it bigger. Font size. We wanted to have 1.5 EN, 1.5 EN. And a transition in 0.5 seconds. 5 seconds, and we make it an ease. Let me save it and see what happens. Now you see. Okay. Now let's do the card header. The card header would be this part here. Yeah. Card header. Open brackets. And the card header is going to be a background color of this dark variable of this dark blue, of this not too dark blue, of this lighter dark blue, and the color for the text, which is black at the moment, color, and the color we're going to put that one on platinum. So this var parentheses and select the platinum, and let's save it, and here we go. Yeah, so we got this part here. And now we have to adjust the card body. Let me go down there. Let's do the card body. Body. Open, close the brackets. Inside the brackets, we're just going to put a background. And the background is going to be a variable of oops, did it wrong again, of the shadow blue, this light blue here, which is the same as the which is the same color as the body. So that is this part here. Now let's adjust here this L side here, which is the practically is this text here. We're going to adjust that one now. Okay, so let me get this one here, copy this one. Let me copy this one. Let me go back into my main CSS and paste this one in. Open the brackets again, and let's start affecting this text here. So first of all, we're going to give it a margin top of 10 pixels, a padding top of 5 pixels, and a padding left also of 5 pixels. The next thing we want to do, we want to align the text to the left. Align text align is going to be left. Text transform, we're going to do capitalize. Text transform, capitalize. Then we make the line height so that you have a little bit space between the lines, so it's not too close. You're going to put this one of 1 rm. And the font size, we're going to make it a little bit smaller. Font size, we're going to make it to 0.7 rem. And then we're going to put an image resolution of inherit. Image resolution of inherit. Okay, now you see, now we got it. And I just see here I got a little problem. Let me control it with the other ones. Yeah, I see here, you see that P here in front? That is not supposed to be in there. So that is somewhere in the HTML. And there where it is supposed to be like this, P. And then we take this one away. Let's make a save. And it's still there. PP, a break, line break. And I believe I got this, yeah, I got this error all over the place. P, close. Get rid of this second part because we have it already on the bottom here. Yeah. And on the first one, I believe we have the same thing. Exactly, we do. Make it a P. What the hell? This one goes away, and here we put a P in there. P. Let me save it, and let's see. We should have solved the problem. Yeah, exactly. So, see, small things like that, you know, I mean, can cause you a lot of problem by the end. Anyway, it's good that I noticed it, so you can see also exactly where here to go and change these ones. So, and let me see now. Let me compare with the other one. Yeah. Yeah. Let me close this one. Let me open this one. And we have to change the text in here also, no? and here we still got a problem. Okay, so but these are things which we have to do here in the HTML. So the first one we corrected it. The second one then here, fashion and models, we changed this one to from professional models. We put in here, what do we have in here? Oops, in the first one, professional fashion and models photography. Let me copy this one and change this one here. And let's take this away. Let's make a save. And it should be okay now. Yep. So let me go there. Yeah, it's the same now. And now see on the third one what we have professional photography also, which is wrong. And we have to change this one to professional portraits and portraits design. Let me copy this one. Let me go back on the next one here, the last one. And let's change this one to where we just copy it. And we got this little, oops, no, that was wrong. So this one I don't need here. And let me make a save, and it should be all done now. Okay, good. But I noticed we left something else out. You see, we got these spaces in between here, the posters on the top and the bottom. These are also caused here by the HTML, and I believe what I forgot to do is, we go inside here, what I forgot to do is on the cards here, I forgot to give him a, I believe, end of collapse one, end of card. After the end of card here, we got to put in a line break. And BR, Control S, and there we go. So now we got to put another 2 in there. So copy this one, copy this one, go on end of card, and save it. And on the last one too, end of card. Paste and save it. And now we go. So, okay. Now we adjusted all our accordion here. And let's keep going on now with the CSS here on the image. Okay, so what we have to do on the images is here we have to enter this effect number 8. So let me go down there. Effect here are the effects. We got effect 5. Light. Actually, you know what? I put all this in here, the accordion on the top here, which actually is supposed to be on. These are supposed to be on the service side. L side, card body. Okay. Let me Control X this one. Let me go on the services here. Light, and under here and it should be still the same. Yeah, and it is, as you can see. Yeah, so that I know, okay, this is all for the services. This the CSS, and we got all that. We got the light, we got the accordion, we got the buttons, card outside, card body, footer. The only thing now we have to put in there is still this effect 8, which is going to come in effect. Let's do it so. Let's make effect services number 8 effect 8 services. Okay, now this effect here is same more or less like the effect 5 we did before, and I'm not going to type it all in here. I'm just going to paste it in, and I'm going to tell you more or less what it is. Oops. Let me see. Let me copy this one and let me paste it in. Okay. So at this point, pause the video, yeah, and copy down what I just pasted in. It's more or less the same process like we did on the effect 5 before, you know. Only that this time we are not giving them a different kind of styling. The reason I had to come up with this effect is because the previous effect which we used, for some reason inside the card or inside the accordion, did not work. And after playing around a little bit, I came up then with this with this effect. Let me show you example. You see now we got no effect whatsoever. Yeah. But if you look on the original here, see we got like a small bordering around, you know, which we don't have here, and that is what this effect 8 is. Yeah. So practice position is relative, like always has to be, and these are then the box shadows for the difference for the different browsers. Yeah, and then this is the box shadow which is for Chrome here, and you see we have different practically here we have on the end we have an inset, which means it puts it inside. So that's the reason we're getting this little small black border around there. Yeah. Then here we have the before and the after. Yeah. Now this time it's a position absolute is on a z index -1, which means it's behind the box. Yeah. And this is done. This is the shadows, the box shadows for the how you say it, for the different browsers, and the box shadow here for the Chrome. Given a top of 10 pixels, a bottom of 10 pixels, a left of 0, right of 0. Yeah, and we give it a small border radius. Yeah, And then in the last part, we just tell them, right, we want 10 pixels. On the left, we want it out auto, yeah. And then again, we have the this time we have a skew and a rotate, yeah. And this four paths here, they are for the different browsers, and this is the one which Chrome will be using. So if I save this one now, and we reopen our page, you see now we have this small inset box shadow around the whole image. So, and that is now the conclusion of part 4, setting up the service page. Let me see if I messed something out. Yes, I did. In fact, here I got in the service HTML, where I got services on the top. It's photography, fashion model. No, all the way up there. I got services, and with this, I need to capitalize this section here, save it, and there we go. Do I miss something else out? No, that would be it. Okay, just post a video when you don't know how to to copy down all the text. When you do the copy and paste from the first card body, yeah, make sure that you always change these IDs and these targets, data targets, like from heading 1 to heading 2 to heading 3, collapse 1, collapse 2, collapse 3, and so on. Because otherwise, if you don't do that, it might happen when you press on fashion and models, this one here, yeah, it will not open this one, but it will open the top one. Yeah, so that's the reason that you keep that in your mind, yeah, to change this collapse 1s and heading 1 to 2 and 3 accordingly. And then you can't put in I don't know, so long you stay within Tistifair, the accordion, yeah. See, it's all the way down there, that's the end of the accordion. As long as you stay within Tistifair, you can copy and paste these babies 50,000 times if you want to, That's not a problem. Just make sure always that then you have to change all the numbers. That is something which you have to be aware of. So anyway, like I said, thank you very much again for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe and leave me your comments, please. I didn't have even one comment so far from no one. It would be nice that some people would leave me at least a comment and let me know, if they like it, if you like it, if you dislike it, or whatever, And anyway, so please subscribe and comment and share. And until the next time, in the next video, we are going to do the gallery part. Gallery part also is just a question of repeating. Once we set up the first image here, or the first 3 images here, once we set up the gallery here with the six main gallery, yeah, then we are going to we are going to probably I'm going to be doing the contact page first, yeah, and then after that I'm going to show you how to make then these galleries here, yeah, because there are not in the in the in the main navigation on the top and on the bottom, as you can see, they're outside, but they're always linked to this gallery page here. Yeah, so and let me stop it right here, and I'll see you in part 5. Thank you very much again for watching, and as I said, don't forget to subscribe, share and like.